Duskull and Dusclops. In the region of Hoenn, there is no Pokemon Tower, no organized resting place for the bodies, graves, and ghosts of the deceased. There is Mount Pyre, an entire mountain that serves as one massive chaotic gravesite for the region. It's tempting to go there, test your wits, and see if you can get through it. By all means, go, take the risk, but here's a word of warning. If you see a skull, just a skull, be it floating in the air or resting on the ground, turn away from it and flee as quietly as you can. Don't let it see you and don't let it hear you. Duskull are everywhere. If you look into the sockets of its skull, you'll see its red eyes. It's casting hypnosis. Try not to fall asleep. If you do fall asleep, try and wake yourself up as quickly as possible. You'll be able to feel it, the darkness that surrounds a Duskull taking shape and wrapping around you. Try and wake yourself up fast. You might only be wrapped up to the knees. That's okay, you can live without lower legs. If you sleep through this, there is no hope. If it hasn't wrapped up your arms and you can move them, reach up to your face. The skull will have attached itself there. Pull it off. Really pull at it, they're stubborn. If it won't come off and you still have use of your arms, grab a rock and smash the skull off your head. Use a lot of force. It's going to hurt, but it will save you. If it works. If your arms become tangled up in the black bandages, you may as well smash your head on the rocks. Try to crack the skull off the outside of your face. If you do get it off, and you have some ability to move, leave as fast as you can and go to the hospital. Your limbs may be useless, but at least you got away. If you can't get it off, the Duskull will wrap you in its bandages entirely. They wrap around your chest all too tightly and restrict your breathing. They wrap around your neck and choke you. They even wrap around your head and around the skull on top of your head, covering your mouth and nose. It has control now. There is no point in struggling anymore. Don't worry, you won't die. No, you won't ever die. You'll be strangled by the bandages as they press down on your chest and tighten at your neck. The new Dusclops simply uses your body as its own physical form. Helping a Pokemon to evolve is a noble thing to do after all, so maybe it's not all bad. With the airflow to your brain restricted, you'll start to lose brain functionality anyway. Eventually you won't even remember you were human. That was Duskull and Dusclops. Final thoughts? Well, that was dumb. Line 1 says that there is no Pokemon Tower in Hoenn. Line 2 says that there is and describes it in great detail. The story tries to imply that it's just a free-for-all graveyard that people use, but anyone who has actually played Ruby, Sapphire, or Emerald knows that the inside of Mount Pyre is actually a fully constructed Pokemon Tower. The entire rest of this story reads like a first aid instructional manual for getting rid of a Duskull that was written by someone trying to be spooky to a 5-year-old. This was awful. That's it for this creepypasta. Tune in again next time when I tackle yet another video game creepypasta. If you want to write your own story, help peer edit a story, or even just read the stories early, check out the description where you'll find a link to the creepypasta section of my forum. You'll also find a link to the playlist of every creepypasta reading I've done. If you're interested in keeping up with me on my blog posts, join the Facebook fan page linked below. And if you want to support me and what I do, check out my Patreon page in the description. Remember that if you want to have your story read on the show, you must stay active on your post on the forum, as well as read the forum rules. Thank you all for watching, and until next time, sweet dreams.